Hey guys, it's Morgan coming back to you finally with another weekly Shlog. I am back. I am healing. If you guys haven't watched my Baja 1000 stuff, go back, watch it. I had a big crash. I got hurt pretty bad, but we're doing okay. We're back rocking and rolling at the shop. So if you're new here, brand new, you just joined us, maybe you followed us because of the Baja 1000 stuff. Now you're checking something else out, but you haven't subscribed, go ahead and consider it. We do a lot of fun stuff here. It's a little motorcycle shop in Western Colorado where we do all kinds of cool performance work. We fix things, we diagnose weird stuff, all the good stuff. So if that sounds like fun, here we go. All right, guys, first on the lift is this 950 Adventure. We are revalving the suspension. Richie is actually doing the revalving because I am still healing my broken collarbone, and I'm trying not to work too hard wrenching on things, and I want to show Richie how to do it. So he already got the shock done. Sorry I didn't show you that, but it is the big shock with the preload adjuster, all that good stuff. Got the right spring on it, got everything set up, got it valved. Should be a lot better now. Actually, the owner of this was here. He was just asking, what are you guys doing? Like, what exactly are you doing? And really what we do on something like that is we stiffen it up a lot, because people think the bike is too stiff. They're like, oh, it feels harsh. It's actually because it's blowing through the stroke, usually, because it's such a huge, heavy bike. They make it kind of squishy because most people are just riding around the road. But when you actually get it off-road, which he does, it actually blows through the stroke and gets crappy kind of fast. So we're stiffening up the suspension. It's not exactly that, but so Richie's taking apart the forks right now, but I have something to show you. Cautionary tale here. First of all, the first cautionary tale is don't mess with Richie. He's a big guy. Or Leandra these days, because she is fired up. But here we go. This is a 23 TX300 in so many pieces. No, this was not a failure on KTM. This was a gentleman who has a father who's in his 80s, and his father was on a side-by-side, and they were riding around. This is a little while back. It's gotten cold now, but a little while back, and they got into some sort of bog of some sort. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but anyway, he got the bike stuck. He didn't drown or anything yet, and he got the bike stuck and was like, ah, crap. So he went, got his dad to stop. Dad turned around, came back. They hooked a tow rope up to it, or strap or something, and he started pulling it through this bog. Well, his dad, being in his 80s, can't really hear anything, and he accidentally dropped the bike, and the bike landed on its side, and then his dad continued to just drive on into a beaver pond, dragging this thing underwater in the mud and the muck. And if you guys have ever been in a beaver pond, you know how crazy mucky and nasty the bottom is. Just anyway, drug this thing through that, pushed a ton of it into the air anyway, he got it out, after he finally got his dad to realize that he was not on the bike anymore or with it, and got the thing back together, or got it going and ran, got out of there, brought it down here, and he's like, Morgan, you need to listen to this. Fired it up. It made terrible noises. So we're replacing a bunch of stuff. It does not have many hours on it. Definitely less than 100. I don't know. Not many. It's sad. So we got it all apart. It turns out the crank was bad. Had water and rust. Super bummer. So that's done. It also scratched up the cylinder. All kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's what the inside of a new TX looks like. So you guys can see all that. Here's this piston. You can see, there we go. Lots of scratchies. Both sides. Intake didn't get hit as bad. The exhaust, definitely bad. So, yeah, we're replacing that. That's a bummer. And now Richie is taking apart these forks for that 950. 950 has the sweet old open chamber forks. These are very, very good forks. So this is the compression valve. The bottom here is your compression control. So that's a bypass for that hole right there. And then this is the stack that we're going to be fiddling with and changing, because as this piston pushes down, it goes this direction, but it pushes down against this, it pushes oil through here and up against this stack. And so we're going to be swapping out the shims there, and then also swapping out shims and changing things up on the mid valve and getting it all back together. And this thing should work way better, which is cool. I'm excited. We've done a few of these big 950, 990 style adventure bikes. They come with good stuff. The new ones come with some crappy forks, honestly, and you basically have to replace the whole fork if you really want it to work good. I know the 890 Rally Adventure, the kind of high-end one of those works pretty good, but the forks still suck because you can't even, they don't even have adjusters on the bottom. Unless maybe the brand new ones do, but most of them don't, because the lugs on the forks, so see how these lugs put the axle forward so you can still get to the clicker? The new style, the axle's directly underneath the fork, so there's no way to get to it. So they basically cheaped out, in my opinion. It changes the rake and the trail and all that, but you can do that with other things too, and still give you adjustments. But now they're basically, if you want a fully adjustable fork and shock on one of the newer adventure bikes, you got to spend about $5 or $6 grand on shock and forks from WP. They're really cool. They're really nice rally stuff, but kind of high dollar. Anyway, I'm gonna get to this thing, help Richie get through this because he's learning. Then we'll get on to the next job. All right, guys, so we got the 950 done. Richie got it done, got everything valved, all set up. It's awesome, ready to rock and roll. In fact, it's so awesome Richie really wants one himself because those bikes are absolutely bad as bone. In fact, comment below if you think the 950/990 was the best adventure bike KTM ever built. If you don't think that, then you're just not very smart. Anyway, next on my lift is actually my 300. I'm not doing anything crazy to it, except for I did take the switches off that I got from Moto Minded. They were the ones that I think may have had something to do with the starter getting stuck on, although I just don't know if it did. But I want to tell you a little story about Moto Minded and how freaking awesome they are. Chris Vessel at Moto Minded, he's just up in Grand Junction, just an hour from here. He saw the video. He and I are good friends. And he's like, well, man, if you thought that was it. So I sent his back and I sent Zach's back because like he wants to know what's going on. He saw both videos, saw the one where it got stuck on with Zach's bike, and he's like, send me those, please. He sent me a return label, so it didn't cost me anything. And then also he offered to pay for all the parts and including labor on fixing this bike. I absolutely 100% refuse to do that. I will not accept money for that because this bike has 165 hours on it. I've beat the living crap out of it. I'm not 100% sure it was those switches. I think it's a weird anomaly that we had switch issues and all that, but I'm not, anyway, even if it was the switches, I'm still not taking money from them because that's, yeah, it's just not cool because this bike has been beat on. So, but I do want to show you what I did for now. What we're going to try out for now are the Nihilo switches. So it's the smaller, just more old school style switch. You know, I got my start on the left, kill on the right. And I want to show you something that they did that I've shared with Chris from Moto Minded. I wanted to share with him what they've done that I think might be better. Because when I took my switches off, well, I'll show you 1 second. What's happening, Jay?
Safe to come over?
Oh yeah, come on over. Hey guys, it's Jay from Fly. He's our Fly guy, and he is actually super rad because he's getting ready to ask me a question. I'm going to answer it here with you guys. Is that yes, Fly got a hold of me, and yes, they are sending me a brand new Formula S helmet. Thank you very much for going to bat for me on that. Super happy with that. I could not be any happier. I was going to buy one. if I had to, I was going to purchase one, but they were kind enough to send me a new one after that big crash in Baja. I believe, honestly, 100% that helmet saved my life. I'm not going to wear it again because it's definitely damaged, but I'm putting another Formula S on because it's the best helmet you can buy. So thank you very much, Jay.
No, absolutely.
All right, guys, sorry, I had to talk to Landon real fast. Let me show you what these guys do. Really cool. So this is the harness from the wires, comes down. I zip tied it up, but they cover the whole thing in heat shrink all the way back. I'm going to show you on the Moto Minded, and this is what I showed Chris, because when I pulled mine off, I noticed some wear on these wires right here, and I think this is important. This is the Moto Minded one. It goes, you know, clips right in, no big deal. It's super, super nice. I really like these buttons, but you see how this doesn't have heat shrink, so this can kind of get torqued around and whatever. And mine, I think the zip tie slipped off of it and ended up maybe cutting those wires. I don't think that's what had anything to do with the thing sticking on, because if anything, I think it would have made them not work at all. But I do really like that a lot. I like that setup a whole bunch. So hopefully, as we work through this with Chris and I, we can help them develop a better switch, because I really do like their switches. Now, the thing I like about these switches, guys, is that they are simple. You know, if you break it, honestly, you could just grab a normal switch from anyone and just solder it in and you're good. There's nothing special about them. There's no clicky, whatever, but they're easy to feel. So I like them a lot. Like I said, I really like the Moto Minded ones a whole bunch. It's really tactile and you can tell it's working. But obviously there may be a problem. But I love the fact that Chris is willing to work with us and try to develop a better product. And I know it's a bummer to have something not work, but it's an even bigger bummer if you don't admit that maybe you have a problem and try to fix it. So hats off to Moto Minded, and we're going to get this thing figured out and we'll get those switches back on this bike. So yeah, anyway. Oh, also guys, mail time. Let me show you this. If you guys haven't figured out, this Shlog is not going to be heavy on technical stuff because of my injuries. Just not doing a ton of work. Richie over there is doing all the work because he's the man. But I want to show you guys what the guys at Rocky Mountain sent me. I'm a big fan of the Tusk tools for like home shop stuff. Probably not going to be great if you're a day-to-day mechanic like I am here at the shop, but they have some pretty sweet stuff. This is a vacuum bleeder. Comes with everything you need. Super simple. There's nothing fancy about it, but I like that. It's really cool. Lots of fittings. Yeah, all the stuff. They got their own nitro tape, silicone tape, basically adheses to itself. Really good for fixing radiator hoses that tear out in the woods. Nice big cup. This is not theirs. Cartridge holding tool for forks, because we did not have one of these actually, so this is staying here at the shop. We have this. Now, I have actually talked a lot about not using these in the past. This is a spoke torque wrench. So I have not used these. I've not been a big fan of these in the past, but I decided I want to try it because I think that for you guys that don't do this all the time, these might be really, really handy. Because for us, the guys that are constantly building wheels and always, you know, touching things with our hands, and we know what things feel like, it's easy to tell where you need to be on the spoke, like tightness, and getting them all about the same. This will make it a lot easier. It's super adjustable. You just pull this, tighten it down. This is in inch pounds. Comes with a bunch of different spoke attachments. So I'm excited. Stay tuned. We'll be definitely testing that here in the shop. Just some washers, which is nice. A Honda tool. And then this thing, this is actually going home to the home shop. This is just a normal spoke wrench with a whole bunch of attachments. So really, actually super nice. In fact, let's open it up. I'll show you guys. This thing is sweet because like the old school one, let me get an old school one. These are great. They work okay, but honestly don't fit all the spokes out there these days. And I don't know, it's just, you got to slide it on further, whatever. It's kind of a pain in the butt. The nice thing about this is you figure out which one of these you need on there for your bike. You screw it in and you go to town. And this is obviously not a torque one. This is just an easy, simple one. So like I said, this is going to the home shop. So stay tuned. We will be using that sucker. My kids are going to be using this the most because they need to keep up on their spokes. So, all right, now let's get on to the next job. All right, guys, next on the lift is this KX250F motor. We have been waiting a very long time for parts. We finally got all the Kawasaki parts. That took a long time. And we got the crank back from Crankworks. That also took a while. They're super busy. Just is what it is. But we got the crank back, got everything here. I've got the other case half in the parts, or in the ultrasonic. So that's all happening right now. And got the bearings out. We got the new main bearings in the freezer. I don't know if you guys, it's been a long time since we showed this thing on here because we've been waiting so long, but the right side of the crank blued up real good. This is the main bearing. This doesn't look too terrible. Trust me though, it's not right. But the web of the crank got crazy hot. So I guess that's a thing on these Cowies. I talked to Crankworks and they have seen all kinds of failures. I'm not a big fan of Kawasaki 4-strokes. They are seem to all just be ticking time bombs in my experience. So this one is going to get built and sold because these people are over it too. They've had problem after problem with it. So yeah, going to get this thing together. All right, guys, got the bottom end almost back together. The important part is all back together. Crank is moving nice and easy. I can't roll it through a whole bunch because we got the cam chain on it, and then that'll get bound up. But yeah, that went pretty good. I struggled a little bit with the transmission, which is interesting because I left the transmission in the bike or in the cases, which I tried to do unless I'm replacing tranny bearings, and these tranny bearings looked all perfect and good, so I didn't do it. But I was having a problem with neutral. I would find neutral, and it would be neutral with the cases apart. But then I put the case together, it was fine, and then as soon as I tightened the cases, it was tight. But not tight like it would move just fine like this, but if I held the sprocket, it was tight. And it's still a little bit tight. I've taken it apart, put it back together, taken it apart, I don't know how many times, and everything is perfect. I look at the parts, everything is exactly as it should be, and all I can figure, it's better now. I lubed everything up because it's been sitting so long, everything was pretty dry, and maybe one of the shift forks has just a tiny bend in it, and it's like causing a bit of a hang up when it does something funky, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. I'm not sure, but I've quadruple checked, no, sextuple check this thing at least, and it seems perfect. So we're going to go forward. So now next part of this build is to put the clutch and everything back on. I got everything over here. This is one of those things, guys, when you're dealing with a bike that's been apart a long time, it takes a while, and to take your time, don't rush it, because you'll end up leaving things out, having to take it back apart, God forbid, put it all the way back in the frame, pull it all the way back out. So just take your time, go slow, make sure everything goes back together. You know, try to do some organization. We got bags with, you know, this is all top end bolts. Then we got the cam caps, and then the head's over there, safe and sound in that bucket. Clutch, you know, everything's where it's supposed to be. So things are zip tied together. The one thing that I'm going to have to look at the parts fish for is I believe this is the water pump gear, or maybe it's the oil pump gear. I'm not 100%. No, it's anyway, it's one of the gears. We'll find out, and I'll let you guys know which one it is. But I found this in the bucket as I was taking things apart. I use these white things, the Ultrasorbs, or these are different ones, but I use the Ultrasorbs mostly. We got from Brian Lynn. Thank you, Brian. Because things like that show up. So I pulled it out along with all the stuff, and it fits that perfectly. So I will be checking the parts fish to make sure that goes there. But these are the things. These are real struggles, guys. I've put a ton of motors together, but you know, when they sit a long time, your brain gets a little So yeah, so now we're gonna start putting this thing together. I'll bring you guys in for certain little things to show you guys, but not for the whole deal, because it's kind of a long, drawn out process. Yeah, anyway, let's get after it. All right, guys, I'm going to show you how I check for something like that little washer. Let's go over here to the computer, and we're going to go to Rocky Mountain ATV, go to Kawasaki, motorcycle, 22, KX250. And now this is where it's going to get interesting. So it's on the clutch side. We'll just look at, I don't think it's going to be with the clutch. We'll make sure. Okay, it's not there. Water pump. I believe that is what that actually is. There we go. So that's that. There's the water pump housing. There's that washer. If we look here, it says it's diameter. So 6 by 12.8 by 1.2. So it's inside diameter is going to be 6. Outside diameter is going to be 12.8. Thickness is going to be 1.2. 0R calipers is 1.2. There we go. On thickness should be 12.8, and then the ID is 6. So there we go. I feel real confident that that's what that is. Also, guys, from what I know about motors, I would know that they would want a washer between this aluminum and this steel. So there we go. That fits good. All right, we'll keep going. All right, guys, got the bottom end all built back together. Now I got the head in the ultrasonic getting all cleaned up, and we're going to rebuild that. Yeah, we got all new parts for it. New valves, new springs, followers look good, all that stuff looks good. But I'll show you why I think the head or the valves need to be replaced as soon as I get it out of here. But yeah, we're getting close, guys. I'm pretty happy with how this is going to go. Probably not going to have the whole build on the Shlog here because I don't think I'm going to quite get it done before the end of the week. It's Saturday now. It's snowy here, so things are going to start being a lot more indoor, not as much riding videos, a lot more mechanic videos. So make sure you guys subscribe. Stay tuned if that's your kind of thing. If you love the riding videos, don't worry, we will be getting back at that very soon. Hopefully with a trip to Arizona relatively soon, once I heal up from my big crash. But things coming down the line, guys. We got a full top and bottom rebuild on that KTM. That's a 19300XC. Just preventative. It runs fine right now, but he wants to make it perfect for next race season. So we're gonna take it all the way down, get the crank rebuilt by Crankworks. He's actually got a brand new Bilotron carburetor, so we're gonna get a real in-depth look at that. That's gonna be kind of cool coming up here soon. Oh, got the 950 all valved. I think I mentioned that before. That's all valved and ready to go. Guys picking that up here soon. Yeah, we're doing a top end on another KX that the guy screwed up. I'll show you that. He screwed up trying to do a valve adjustment, but we're gonna save him. It's gonna be good. And the quad is leaving this next week, so that's gonna be gone. No more ATVs in here. Sorry about that. Also, some new stuff coming for the 24 XCW and my 23 XC too. So lots of stuff coming, guys. In fact, I think I'm just going to shut this video down here now because it's going to be a while for that head to cook in the ultrasonic, and I'm in a little bit of pain, so I'm just going to set you guys down. No, it wasn't the most informative, most crazy Shlog, but I wanted to get one back going for you guys because I know there's a ton of you out there that love the Shlogs. Punk Rock Club, you know you're my favorite. Thanks for sticking around to the end. You guys are the best. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and I desperately hope that what we're doing is inspiring you guys to work on, but way more importantly, get out and ride your dirt bikes!